Well, this morning I'm going to do a painting of Dunstanburgh Castle, which is in Northumberland, in the northeast of England. It's a photograph I took a couple of years ago, actually. I'll show you here. Is that amazing? So I've got a couple of challenges here. I want to try and catch this light here, this band of light sand contrasting with the darker shadowed bit here, and this bit of seagrass or just on the banks here on the seashore, and got to try and capture these lights. I'll try and keep some light of my paper to some extent, but I'll probably have to put that in with gouache. And the most striking thing is the castle, of course. This was built by Earl Thomas of Lancaster, I think it is. Let me just check that actually. Let me just see. So I made a note. Yes, I'm right. Lancaster. Between the years 1313 and 1322, and it was built on the site of an old Iron Age fort, taking advantage of the prominent, I guess, defensive position there. So I'm going to have a go at this. So the first thing I'm going to start with is to give the sky area a good wet, because I want a soft sky, nice cerulean colour. There's no clouds, so I don't want to put any clouds in really, because I just want to allow for this silhouette. And the dark corner, the sea here, of course, is it's quite a lot darker. There's various tones throughout the sea, actually. Lighter in the far distance there. But let's just make sure we've got that water in. Wet that right down over. And I'm going to go with a cerulean, which is a nice light colour, a nice coolish blue. So I've got to try and wet up my palette here. I use tube paint, but they dry out, so you have to wake them up a little bit. So I'm going to make a good pile. Might just drop a little bit of cobalt in just to give a little bit more strength to it. So have I got enough now? Let's see. I think I probably have. So a nice puddle. Right, here we go then. So sweep it in, just adding to this little bead of colour all the way down over the headland there. So I'm going to let that dry. Not going to go near that at all now. So let's just leave that a second. 1 minute or two, let's mop up this. So the next thing, I think I'm going to get in this green area here of this grass in the dunes here. So I'm going to mix some sap green with some yellow ochre, so I can get something. I don't want it dark green at all, but I'm going to, let's just put it in like this. I'm using a nice Chinese brush now, carries a lot of water. I think we'll stay with that. Gives me a start anyway. And when it's a little bit wet, I'm going to drop in some elements of slightly darker, with a slightly thicker paint. So I put some sap green, yellow ochre, little bits of ultramarine. Give me some different colours and shapes. It will help me with some contouring of the grasses as well. So this is wet on wet technique. You can see the water, the colours diffusing into it. So I'm just going to stab in got a bit of ochre on there as well. Using some odd colours that I've got on my palette. Give me different tones. Right, I think I'm going to leave it that. Got to be very careful not to muddy it. So we'll leave that there. And then this part of the beach is quite dark along here. It's a band of darkish purpley bluish colour. So I'm just wetting up the area that I want to cover. So just touch here, so I get a soft edge with my dunes. But we leave it like that, I think. And it's also coming in this direction with a section of bright light in there. So let's get something mixed up. I think I'm going to start with some raw sienna. Good earthy colour. Make a bit of umber, I think. We need a bit of raw umber. And I need to put a little blue in it, a little red. So I want to get it slightly purplish looking. Yes, I think we could do that. You've got to be careful with doing the shadowed area with when you're working from a reference photograph, because the camera doesn't really catch the varying colours in your shadow area, so you're not careful you paint them too dark. So that's not too bad, and comes out a little like this. I think done some trees on our right, just in this out here to my right here, casting a shadow over this bit of the beach. So we'll see if we can capture that. Make sure it's merging now with my dunes. Right, and that, as I said, comes down here as well. So let's make sure we've got enough. Bit of sienna, varying different colours. So I want to leave that shaft of yellow light, which I'll put in a minute, or at some stage. And it's dark there. Put a bit more blue in, I think. A bit more blue. Bit of raw sienna. Yes, we need it just a bit darker in places. I'm going to just feather off this edge a little. Go raise it up, I think. All right. Actually, well, I've got this colours. This is dried a little bit. The dunes here. So I want a little bit drier, so I can still drop in some of these to give us a different tones. Right, let's leave it there though. And then along this, I have got a little bit of the dune is quite a bit darker here. So again, I've got the same issue. How dark? Don't want it too dark. It's bleeding a little bit. Let's darken up a bit. Got a bit of Payne's grey on here now. Just going to drop a bit more in. And I've got coming around here, along here. It's dark in the shadow of the dune. I'll put some green here. So this is, the light is coming from right to left. And we've got, let's put some less, right, a little less dark in our distant bit of foreshore there. A little bit of raw sienna. Right, that'll do that. Righty-ho. And then I've got out of here, Let's get a slightly different brown. I'm using a bit of light red to give me a slightly more vibrant colour in places. There's a bit of a field out here I'd like to capture. That colour, something like that. So we've got some of these difference in colour there. Going out. I must try and keep perspective as well. So I have higher bits of ground here, and then anything disappearing into our vanishing line will be much a thinner area. So right, now we need to get some other tones in here. It's quite dark there. And darker bits of the hillside here. Like that. And then I've got dark, slightly bluer. I'm going to exaggerate the blue somewhat to give me a sense of distance. Things in the distance tend to be a little bluer. So on this bit of the hillside there, right. And then we have, I must try and keep some lights here. There's a bit of cliff here, so perhaps keep some of the lights of the paper there. And then it goes a bit darker there. I've got the rocks coming out here. Right. Now let's get a bit of green in there while we can. Quite a muted green because it's in the distance. You don't want to have it too bright, otherwise it brings it forward. And we don't need that right now. We want to push it back like that. And then we have different bands of green here. Let's put a bit of ochre there, change it. Change our colours. Right, and then again step up a bit more ochre. Got a bit of yellow out there. Right, now should we get in something of our some of this shoreline? So I need, looks a little reddy actually, so I'm going to go a bit of light red, and I'll put some ochre with it. So I want it warm, warmish colour. I'm keeping it. Let's put a bit of cadmium red there. There's a little piece of test paper. A bit redder needed. Yes, that might do it. Right, here we go. Then I've got a band of red sand coming like this. Right, then got some of it comes along the shoreline there, slightly, and that line, using the body of the brush just to maintain some of the sparkle in the paper. So I'm going to put now a little bit of purple into a shadowy colour, because I've got a little bit of ultramarine as well. A bit more ultramarine, more water. Yes, I think that could do. And I've got it coming up like this. Got bits of water there, sort of purple. Right. Okay. Then out here, we've got a much darker blue, so let's get a bit of ultramarine. I want to vary the tones of the green, of the blue, as I go, but I'm going to just I think we have to go with it now. Is that dry? I don't want it bleeding that sky. Right, let's go with it. As I'll see. I've got to maintain a horizon, nice straight water's edge. Horizon there, water coming up there. also there's just a hint of the sea here, which comes down there. Get a little hint there. So let's go with that. And now I'm squinting my eye, and I think there are parts that need to be much darker. So I'm getting red, ultramarine, bit of red, maybe it's just a hint of a neutral tone to drop in here. And coming in here to try and get some of the out here too. Try and get some shape of the sea as it waves in. So I've got to step back a little bit to see what I'm getting there. Of course, I've got to put in some of the lights of the breaking waves. I think it'll be using gouache to do that, or gouache as some people call it. Okay, let's leave that for the moment. Just as I stand back, I can see I haven't got this bit of headland as dark as it should be. So let's beef that up a bit. And there are bits of raised areas along here too. Give some more definition. And I think I'm going to vary, put some reds and for this rocks here. A little purple, a little red, a little blue. Right. Okay. Right. Let's leave this for a moment. Right, now let's get some colouring for the castle out there. So I think we've got to get a smaller brush and got to put some shadows in actually as well in the front of this hill to give it some form, but let's leave it for the moment. A soft edge along here, a bit of textural on the paper there. This different tones. In that piece of land there. Need something to give it a bit more shadow. Yes, so let's use my little Chinese brush there to be a bit more positive with my shadow area. It's a little bit better. Yes, and a bit of Payne's grey, a little blue. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of shadow there. And darker bits here to contrast with that headland there. Right. Now, yes, I've got to put some, I think just a little tiny smidge of ochre, I think, is what we need for the castle. Or no, maybe a bit of raw sienna. Raw sienna, or maybe a light bit of umber, burnt umber, but very weakly. Yes, I think we can do that. Let's just see what we go. I mean, it's quite a fair way away, so you're not seeing in detail. It's just the silhouette, really. But I have an opportunity, I think, to put in a lighter side as well. Which we can do that in a minute, just to emphasize shadow, light and dark, which we've got to do. I think I'm going to darken that up a little bit. That's it, because it is set against our skyline, so that will always emphasize the darks. So, bit of neutral tone, little bit of burnt umber. That's it. Yes, I think we can do that. Yes, this needs to be a lot darker here in our dunes. There's a distant field there, the hedgerows. No, actually not much of a hedgerow, to reality. Northumberland here, very windswept. And going to add a little bit of light, actually. Little light ochre, very weak. Little sweep there. So emphasize that side. I think we're going to do a bit there. So we can show some changes and definition. Right, I think though I need this shadow. This needs to be much darker. Much darker. I haven't got enough in there. So let's, can I put some glaze over with a darker colour? So I think we'll have a go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So again, we've got some ultramarine, a little hint, a little tiny touch of cadmium red, a little ultramarine still, make it a little bluer. Yes, let's do it. Right. Yes, I think that's reading a bit better, and then of course we have to break this line a little bit. Time to time, slightly different tone. Right. Okay. I think I might glaze over this with a bit of yellow later, perhaps. Let's get a bit darker in here. Now they're drying a bit. Keep a little sliver of lighter light, of lighter blue out on the horizon there. I think Need to get some little lights in here places. Also have to deal with some texture in this grassy area. So let's see. Oh, I've got a fan brush here. See this little fan brush? So I think we'll have a go. See if we can put some darks and then some yellows as well. So let's get some sap green going. See if we can get some texture. Yes, I think we can do that. Just vary it. Some different colours. Some yellow ochre. All these grasses. There's quite a sweep of them actually. I think I'm going to try and get some yellows in as well in a moment. A few dark bits. Yes, that's going to serve us, I think. Now let's get some yellow ochre going. Keep it light. Some of these areas. Right, that'll do. Actually, a little bit of yellow out there. This adds a little bit of warmth to the picture. Also, there was a little bit out here. Right. Now, I've got at some stage to put these waves in. Let's get a different yellow as well. See if we can get a bit of a lemon yellow with some more. Go back to my Chinese brush. Let's see if we can get some really bright, cleanish yellow. Still got. Put a bit more green in here, maybe a lighter bit of lemon as well. Make it warm. Yes, we could do that. Now I'm going to also use this Chinese brush, Chinese one, to put a few flicks of. Now I think I have still too wet for that, or maybe not. A few dabs. But there were some lights out here. Yes, that's added something. And also little bits on this, little dabs of cliff top, a little rock coming through, little elements. And also I have, here, some lights coming in as well. Along that shoreline, this is quite light, is coming from right to left. So we can just Tap in a bit of Chinese white with a hint of yellow there. And we'll warm it up. And let's break in some of this as well here. This line here. Bring some warmth in, plus light. And if I put it up against this, it will emphasize it more. Also little bits of white on that. Right. Now I think I'm going to wait till it's dry and then see if we can put some little breaking waves here in the surf coming along. So I'm going to leave this to dry for a little while. Well, I've let it dry a little bit, but I've got some Chinese white here. So I'm just going to try and get some lines of the surf. Well, it's not a big sea running, but so I just drop these in. Fairly thick paint, just laying the side of the brush down, and nearer to us we will see somewhat bigger wave, and we've got a little bit of the odd white horse here. So let's just kind of hint at it as they come in. Nope. Gotta get it a bit thicker. Right. Okay, let's leave it at that for the moment. So I've nearly finished it now, actually. I've put some more darker blue in there. I think I needed more contrast. And used some Chinese white to give me some waves. But what I'm going to do is, with a very small brush, if I can find it, what have I done with it? I've got a little Chinese brush, here we are. I'm going to put a little bit of gouache here to brighten up some of the surf here. So as I said, I've got it down fairly well with my Chinese white, but I think I can squeeze a bit out of gouache there, so I can have a bit more of a striking contrast. So let's get on to that. Yes, I think we can put some along like this. Try and hint at some surf. We can do a bit out here too. And we've got some tiny little wavelets here in the foreground. I think we can do that. And in the distance here, got a little hint here of some surf. coming along there. Can we put some more coming in here? Right, and I've noticed now, of course, we've got some out in this bay, so we need to put something there to give us a hint. A little splash here and there to give us a little bit of sparkle to the proceedings. There we are. Just dragging it along like that. Okay, now I could put a little hint of light out there, so that will draw our eye out a little bit in the distance. And this little bit of cut in the hillside, picking a little light up there. Right. So are we done? I think we are. I could perhaps give a little bit of a hint of those cliffs out there. So I've got some contrast with my dark here and dark here. Little touch more perhaps here. Coming along, giving us a little bit of sparkle on the sea, using the texture. So, have we done enough? I think we may have done actually, but I'm just going to mix a little bit of gouache with a little bit of yellow. Give me something a bit golden out there to give us light. Well, there you are. Just looking back to review it. I'm fairly happy with it. You often go back in a day or so and think you could have improved a little bit, but this is DUNSTANBURGH Castle, 14th century. It's up in Northumberland, built between, I think, started 1313 and finished about 1322. So anyway, I hope you liked it, and if you would like to subscribe or see more of my paintings, then just push the like button and the subscribe button, and then you will be notified in the future when some things have been put up. So let's leave it at that before I do any more. Fatal scene. Okay, thanks for watching.